Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm your hostess, Mandy Cantrell. I'm joined today by Sarah Osborne. She and I work upstairs in the children's department at the B.B. Comer Library, and we've enjoyed just the past several month or so, several weeks, looking at all the Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween books, things like that. We've enjoyed it, and we've pulled several Christmas books to talk about today, hopefully during the Christmas break. I know things are very busy, activities for Christmas, but there also is, for children and for students, there's no homework, not a lot of extracurricular activity, so a little bit of downtime for them, and hopefully with no homework, a little bit more downtime in the evening for parents. So our hope is that during this Christmas season, especially if it's a really cold day, you can kind of sit on the couch and maybe cover up with a blanket and get you a nice book to read and spend some time reading some things you want to read. And that's what we want to do. We want to talk about some books that we have that you most certainly can come check out from us, but also things that you might want to purchase as gifts for the children or the adults that you know. So Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and start. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and start. I've chosen my favorite book, or one of my favorites. I guess I have a lot of favorites, but this is one of my favorites. It's called A Wish to Be a Christmas Tree, and it's by Colleen Munro. This is a large tree feeling very sad because no one has chosen it as a Christmas tree, but it discovers the importance of being appreciated all year long. This is one of those books I think that's nice to read to children, to talk about how we need to tell people we love them all year long instead of just waiting for Christmas time when we're giving gifts and things like that. Beautiful pictures in this book. It's one of my favorites. We've had it a year or so. And while I've got this book in my hand, I want to go ahead and just talk about, we have book plates in many of our books which tells that the book was purchased by, or the money was donated by someone in honor or in memory of someone. What a nice way, even during the Christmas season, to honor someone that you know, to do something special, maybe for that person that you know loves reading and has everything they want. What a nice way to honor someone. And I would encourage you too, if you buy books for people during the Christmas holidays, write a note inside of them. I know I've enjoyed looking at books that I've gotten over the years, and somebody will write a quick note. And I know, Sarah, you've,
yes.
I won't spoil anything, you bought some for your nieces and nephews. Nice to write a little note in there. So Sarah, tell us about the next book.
This is an Invisible Thread Christmas story. This is a true story. It's by Laura Schroff. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she tells the remarkable story of her lifelong friendship with a boy named Maurice, who she met on the street while he was asking for change. She just tells about the first Christmas that she and Maurice spent together. She gave him a small white bear, and she later learns that that's the only thing that he could truly call his own. And so it really captures the meaning of the holidays, and it's a wonderful gift. It's a true story, so that just makes it even neater to me.
It does. It does. It's a great book too.
Is.
I think I'm going to say every book is my favorite, probably. Now this is a small book. It's called Messy Bessie's Holidays. Messy Bessie, that is her name. Bessie and her mother bake cookies for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, and for Hanukkah. And after cleaning up the kitchen, they distribute the treats to their neighbors. Another good book like this one and the one Sarah had about giving. And this also does touch on Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, which are holidays that some children may not know about. Some children may celebrate in their home, but what a nice way to learn about other cultures and what they do, other people, and to talk about sharing their treats. And this is one of our easy readers. It's called a Blue Dot. That's what we call it because of the blue dot inside the book. We have a whole section of books upstairs at the library specially designed for kindergarten, first, and second grade readers. And Sarah, I know you and I know those books are checked out all the time.
Yes.
They're not a lot of words on the page, words you can sound out, sight words, things that kids are learning. So this is particularly, I like this book about the holidays, but then that whole section of books are great for those early readers.
Yes. This is Olaf's Night Before Christmas. Every child loves Olaf and every child loves Frozen. This actually comes with a CD that we have at the library that you can check out as well. The voice of Josh Gad, who is Olaf. And it's just, 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring until a sound awakens Olaf. Just read along as Olaf has the adventure of a lifetime with a mysterious stranger in red. Comes along with the CD by read by Josh Gad. And it's just an innocent and humorous account of the night before Christmas. It's very cute. I won't spoil anything, but I may or may not have gotten one of these for my nieces and nephews.
We also used that at Storytime the other day.
It's so cute.
And the minute we held the book up, who is this? Olaf, Olaf. Everybody loves Frozen,
yes,
so that's a nice gift. This one is called Christmas in the Trenches. I love this book. We've had it a while. It also has a CD with it. It is by John McCutcheon, who is a folk singer, and this is based on his song that has the same title, Christmas in the Trenches. This book received a Grammy nomination in 2006 for Best Spoken Word Album for Children. A World War I veteran tells his grandson of his experiences in 1914 when British and German soldiers declared a truce from fighting to celebrate Christmas together. This is also a true story. It's in the fiction section because although the events, the historical events are true, the names of the people and the grandfather and the son, you know, are fictional, they're not necessarily true, but the event is true. So this is a good way to slide a little history into your Christmas reading. This is a wonderful book. I love this one. Okay.
This is The Naughty List. Of course, we can't read all the books that come into the library, but I read maybe the first couple of chapters of this book and just laughed. It's hilarious. It's by Michael Fry. When Bobby's hilariously bumbling efforts to save her brother's Christmas actually land him on Santa's naughty list, she must travel to the North Pole to make things right again and save Christmas. Bobby suddenly finds herself on an epic holiday adventure complete with rogue elves, dysfunctional reindeer, a lazy Santa, and more. Fans of The Big Nate and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which check out a lot, yes, will love this laugh-out-loud, funny Christmas adventure packed with comic illustrations. So that would probably be good for maybe a boy that doesn't like to read but likes to look at, you know, comics and things like that.
Something funny. That's perfect. Yes, and that's, I guess when I think of Christmas books, I think of the easy books for young children, but that's a juvenile book, which would be, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. A lot of fun and great. Reluctant boy readers, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, well, my favorite Christmas movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Everybody's seen this. Most of the kids have seen maybe the original one, and maybe they've seen the one with Jim Carrey, but this is the best. And actually, I've tried to learn to read this book I've tried to learn the words. I can just about quote it because I love this story. This is just a classic, never gets old. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss.
This is another blue dot. This is Toy Story. Lots of kids love Toy Story. This is also a blue dot for easy readers. There's the blue dot. And just have a very Merry Christmas with Buzz, Woody, and the rest of the toys from Disney Pixar Toy Story. This makes a perfect stocking stuffer for, you know, a 4 to 6 year old who's just learning to read. It's just the perfect size to go in a stocking.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea. And I like to, a lot of kids come in, they've seen movies or TV shows. I know we've got Toy Story,
Disney Princess, yeah.
Yes, oh yeah, lots of Disney Princess. And they love that. They love to come and get a book about that. Well, the greatest thing to hit children's books is Pete the Cat. I believe all children love Pete the Cat, and we do too. Sarah and I love it. This is Pete the Cat Saves Christmas. Of course, you know, something happens to Santa and he can't deliver gifts, but Pete the Cat saves the day. I love Pete the Cat. He's groovy. His theme is just, it's all good. So children love this, and I think you can go online maybe and download the song, Pete the Cat Saves Christmas, but these are cute stories too. Great present.
This is The Christmas Cat by Marilyn McDonald. This book was actually inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's drawings, La Madonna del Gatto, which show Mary holding baby Jesus who is cuddling a cat, and I'm a cat lover, so I had to include this book. All babies are beautiful and all babies cry. Jesus was no exception. On the night he was born, nothing Mary, Joseph, or the other animals in the stable could do to comfort him. But when a curious kitten wanted its turn to calm baby Jesus, a loving friendship blossomed on that very first Christmas. It's an adorable book, beautiful, beautiful pictures. I love this. Any cat lover would love to have this, I'm sure.
And I like too. We have a lot of books about Santa and other things, and then we have books about Christ being born. That's another thing. We have a little section set up for those. A lot of people come asking for those, so we try to have it all. This is the Polar Express. The movie was on the other night. I enjoyed watching part of that. It's a classic movie, and if you've watched the movie, the book, if you were to make a movie just of this book, it would be about 15 minutes long. The book is not as long as the movie, but the movie is, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, a lot. They added a lot, which is okay. It's a great movie. It's a great book. It's a beautiful book about believing, about Christmas. And then we noticed in the library this book called it's called The Polar Express, the movie, Trip to the North Pole. The movie was made based on this book by, and this is going to be, I have to look and make sure I say this right, Chris von Allsburg. Beautiful, beautiful pictures in here. It's written and illustrated by him, and it has won a Caldecott Medal, which means it was one of the best picture books one year in its category. So the movie was made based on this book. After the movie, this book came out. This is a juvenile book based on the movie. It is more the movie. It's straight from the silver screen comes the story of the Polar Express with an 8-page color insert of movie scenes right in the middle, pictures from the movie. So if you've got a younger child, Polar Express is probably for them. Anybody that loves the movie, a little older child would like one of these. Trip to the North Pole, the Polar Express movie.
This is By the Hanukkah Light. This is another good book to learn about how how different people celebrate Christmas. This is by Sheldon Oberman. When Grandpa was a boy growing up in Europe, he celebrated Hanukkah in much the way that children do today. He sang songs, played dreidel, and ate potato pancakes. Yet Hanukkah was very different. His family could not share the joy of Hanukkah with the world. They were forced to observe this holiday behind locked doors and drawn curtains. In those days, a man came with soldiers to persecute the Jews, just as a foreign king had done centuries earlier in Jerusalem. It's a beautiful story. It explores the meaning of Hanukkah in a way that enlightens and inspires. It's a beautiful book.
Great, great. This book is called The Nutcracker Doll by Mary Newell de Palma. Hope I'm saying that correctly. We had actually Miss Heather Adair from Performing Arts, Dance and Performing Arts, came in one day looking for a book about the Nutcracker. She was going to talk to a class, had a girl that was going to dance and talk about the Nutcracker, the ballet, and she was looking for a book with pictures, a book to read. She didn't need a lot of words. It was to a younger group, but that's perfect for something like this. Every little girl wants to be a ballerina, I think, and this has beautiful pictures about the Nutcracker. And so if anyone has had a chance to go to see the ballet, the Nutcracker, this would be great, or to teach your little girls about that.
It's A Christmas Wish for Corduroy. It's written by B.G. Hennessy, but it's based on the characters by Don Freeman. If you have a child that loves corduroy, this is perfect for Christmas. And it's almost Christmas, and Corduroy wishes that he could be a child's holiday gift, but he's a plain bear and nobody seems to notice him. He sets out across the store to ask Santa Claus for help, but he can't visit without wearing a special outfit. After stopping by to try on hats, boots, and even baby clothes, Corduroy finally arrives at the North Pole. Can Santa help Corduroy find a new home in time for Christmas? You just have to read it and find out. This book actually takes you back before the beginning.
Before the little girl buys.
Before she buys. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that was neat.
Well, Sarah, we're going to take a quick break. We've got lots more books to look at, but we're going to take a quick break for commercials, and I hope you'll join us.
In Central Alabama, 9,100 kids face going to bed hungry tonight. Hunger doesn't take a day off. There are kids right here, right now, that don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Alabama Childhood Food Solutions and help put an end to childhood hunger in Central Alabama. Make a difference. Donate today, by mail or online, to help ACFS feed hungry kids. There's no better time to share than now. Their next meal could come from you.
Any meal, anytime, it's a Huddle House on Highway 280. From the popular Huddle House signature waffle to our big house breakfast, including gravy and biscuit and loaded hash browns, it's a Huddle House. Try our Philly cheese steak omelet. It's a sure hit too. Our Big House sandwich combos include Huddle Burger and Country Fried Steak. And for lunch or dinner, it's the often requested chopped steak with mushroom gravy. Starting to get hungry? Head to the Huddle House. Our friendly and experienced team await you. Huddle House, Highway 280, any meal, anytime.
At Marble City Pharmacy, we're more than just a drugstore. Our gift shop boasts some of the most unique treasures you'll find anywhere. Come in and browse the vast selection of jewelry, purses, clothing accessories, and crafts. Let our friendly staff help you find that special card or gift for any occasion. Our dollar wall features selected sale items, and we stock a wide variety of specialty items. And if it is a drugstore you need, Marble City Pharmacy was named the 2015 McKesson National Pharmacy of the Year. Visit us today at Marble City Pharmacy.
Since 1935, the Collins family has been the automobile business in Sylacauga. Bobby and Anderson Collins carry on that tradition today at Stop and Shop Auto Sales. Select from late model cars, trucks, and SUVs. And our vehicles do not go on the lot until they are thoroughly inspected by our experienced mechanics. At Stop and Shop Auto Sales, we offer a 30-day warranty on all our inventory. Family owned and operated for 4 generations. Stop and Shop Auto Sales, 230 West 1st Street in Sylacauga.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell. Sarah Osborne and I work upstairs in the children's department at the Comer Library, and we're sharing some of our favorite Christmas books. This is almost like we do at work. We sit around and talk about the books we like, how we're going to use them and things like that. So this is just a repeat of what we've done this past week. I do want to talk a little bit about the library, and I hope that you will come sometime over the Christmas break. I know a grandfather was in the other day and was checking out some books to read to his children when they came to visit. I said, well, come visit us at the library. Beautiful decorations, trees we have up, things like that, and we hope you'll come and just spend some time with us when things, you know, there's no school, maybe a little bit more time to do things like that. We'll hope you come see us. Now I want to get back to another book. This is the Mother-Daughter Book Club. This is a juvenile fiction book. You can tell it's not an easy book, it's a thicker book. And this is a series. It's by Heather Vogel Frederick. It's a series for girls maybe ages 9 to 12. 4 girls continue their mother-daughter book club reading Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but from unexpected blizzards to a sledding disaster, nothing goes as planned. A lot of girls, when they get to be about 9, 10, 11, are ready for a series of books and they like to get involved with the characters. This is a perfect one. A lot of girls read these, and and they have a Christmas one, so I wanted to share that.
This is A Southern Night Before Christmas by E.J. Sullivan. This is just kind of a parody of The Night Before Christmas. And it's, 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, the AC unit and gas grill are decked out waiting for Santa. The children are dreaming of bowl games and cheerleader costumes, and Santa would like nothing better than a glass of sweet tea. The Southern Night Before Christmas, of course. It's that special time of year when Santa arrives in a metal flake bass boat and the reindeer practice their water skiing high above the rooftops. Let this affectionate down-to-home take on the familiar holiday classic warm your family home and heart this year, because there's nothing quite like a Christmas in the South.
Oh, that's true. Sad to say, that's really how we are a lot of times. And we have several books based on 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Of course, we have several copies of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. We talked about one that has the dogs. You've got that right there. The one, yes, the dogs. Great pictures. We also have A Pirate's Night Before Christmas, and I read this at Storytime. I actually wanted to read this one. I begged to play. You can have the cat books, but give me a pirate book. This was A Pirate's Night Before Christmas. Had a great time at Storytime reading this. It's the story of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, but just with the pirate accent, and you know, everybody loves a pirate sometimes. So we have several of these. There's the Southern Night Before Christmas. I think there's an Irish one. There's a fireman's. Lots of different kinds, plus lots of the traditional ones.
This is A Christmas Carol. This is the words are the original by Charles Dickens. The illustrator is Brett Hellequist. He did the illustrations for Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. So that was kind of neat to me, and they're beautiful illustrations. And this luminous picture book adaptation of Charles Dickens' immortal classic, the story of Ebenezer Scrooge leaps off the page to warm the soul of one and all. Be swept away in unforgettable Christmas Eve Eve, from Scrooge's first bah humbug to the arrival of the ghost of Christmas past, from the courage of Tiny Tim to the glory of Christmas morning, Brett Hillquist's art bursts with spirit, humor, and irresistible attention to detail. So it's a beautiful book. It is.
Beautiful book, that is. An old classic story.
Yes.
I guess a classic story. I shouldn't say old. This is called A Very Baby Mouse Christmas. This is one from our section of graphic novels. By graphics, we mean it looks like a cartoon strip. A lot of children love these. These, I think, were actually made for reluctant boy readers who might not want to pick up a book and read it, but they will read a comic book if they, it looks like a comic book. That's what this is. Baby Mouse by Jennifer Holm. A spunky mouse with an active imagination is determined to get the latest electronic gadgets for Christmas, even if she has to outfox Santa himself to get it. And when I show you this one is really cute. I like them too. They're smaller, baby mouse. We have a lot of, put in a plug for our Star Wars books. With the movie coming out, we have a lot of graphic Star Wars. This book, Samurai Santa by Reuben Pink, is a young ninja wants a snowball fight for Christmas, and he just might get his holiday wish in this picture book with graphic novel inspired illustrations that celebrate the spirit of giving, samurai style. So this is a graphic, and this is in the graphic style, graphic inspired style. It has some of the same types of pictures, and I know boys love ninjas and things like that, and how neat to put Santa and them together for Samurai Santa, A Very Ninja Christmas. Every boy would like this.
Oh, yes. This is Merry Christmas, Mr. Mouse. I got to read this one at story time. It's a cute little rhyming story. This is by Carolyn Bruner, I hope I'm saying that right, and Mark Bruner. I think that's a husband and wife team. They also wrote the bestseller Snowmen at Night, and they actually hide shapes of T-Rex, rabbits, and a cat in their pictures. I thought that was really neat. We also noticed in this story that, like I said, they wrote Snowmen at Night, that talks about how at night snowmen, they go sledding and they drink hot cocoa and all that sort of thing. In the illustrations of this book, you can see the snowmen are actually behind the scenes playing. It's just neat. It's little hidden things. But this story is just when Mr. Mouse and his family move into the warm spot beneath the kitchen stove in a big house, they discover something new and wonderful. An evergreen tree decorated with lights, ginger and peppermint smells in the air, and cookies baking in the oven. They hear about a child born long ago, a jolly man named Santa, who brings gifts and to celebrate Jesus' birth on a day called Christmas. So Mr. and Mrs. Mouse decide that their family should celebrate Christmas too. So that's cute, and I'll just show. You can see there's a T-Rex. I don't know if you can see. Just little shapes. It's neat. It's a neat thing to pick out when you're looking through the illustrations.
Right, because they're hidden.
They're hidden, yes.
Yeah, fun to do. Yes. This is Paddington Bear, and I'll have to say, I know you were talking about corduroy. Yes. The library wrote a grant to Wells Fargo, and we are so appreciative and thankful that they've given us some money to do programs. We did a series of story times, and we were able to buy some beautiful new books and some little characters here. I've got Paddington, Sarah's got corduroy, and we put these on display at the library, which is a wonderful way to display the characters and the books that go with them. So if you come to the children's room, you'll see Paddington and corduroy and lots of other things that we've done. So we are very appreciative of Wells Fargo for doing that. We enjoyed taking the program to a lot of children in our community, providing crafts and mostly wonderful new books, and these little guys right here, which make a great addition to make the library more beautiful. This is Paddington and the Christmas Surprise by Michael Bond. Paddington, the story of Paddington has been around several years, but just recently there was the Paddington movie, so a lot of kids are just now being acquainted with Paddington. He is a fun little bear. It says Christmas is coming, and Paddington has saved just enough money to take the Brown family to Bark Ridge's store to visit Santa's winter wonderland. But there's always trouble, and I think with a little help from Santa, Paddington will come out okay. But these are wonderful stories. Paddington and the Christmas Surprise.
This is Little Santa, and the back of this book says, "Ever wonder what Santa was like as a child?" That's interesting. Little Santa loves the North Pole, but the rest of his family, not so much. So when they decide to move to Florida, Santa is miserable. Lucky for him, a blizzard foils their plan. The only way out of the house is up the chimney. Up goes Santa to look for help, and along the way, he meets a reindeer and a large group of elves who are more than eager to join the rescue. So that's kind of interesting. You don't really hear a lot of stories about how Santa was as a child.
Right, right. How fun. Something fun to sit and read together. Yeah. This book, I like this book a lot too. It's The Miracle of the First Poinsettia by Joanne Oppenheim. This is a great way to learn about Mexican culture and Mexican customs. In Mexico and places like that, poinsettias grow. Just grow in your front yard if you have them planted there. Just beautiful, and I can't imagine that because we don't have that here. It's too cool. But this is a beautiful story of how the poinsettia, it's the miracle of the first poinsettia, about a little girl who is bringing some flowers to midnight mass as a gift for the Christ child. She pulls just some flowers or weeds along the road because she has nothing. She's very poor, has nothing to give the baby. And when she presents them as all she has, the gift, they turn into the beautiful red poinsettias. So we see so many poinsettias, and so nice to be able to have a little story behind them. And thinking of poinsettias, I hope you will come to the library and look at our beautiful decorations. We have a beautiful tree. Thanks to Miss Jo Andrews and Mike Van Elsen, who did most of that. We did the upstairs some, so Sarah did most of the upstairs, the displays and things. Thank you. But I hope you will come in and see us. We have beautiful poinsettias, trees, just everywhere you turn is something beautiful at the library.
Oh, yes. All right. I think we can all relate to this story. This is Are You Grumpy, Santa? This is by Greg Spirelis. Maybe?
Close
possibly.
enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the merriest, most cheerful guy on the planet wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, don't we all? Particularly on that faithful Christmas Eve. First off, Santa steps out of bed and stubs his toe on a bowling ball. Then the elves shrink his Santa suit. Mrs. Claus puts him on a diet, and his reindeer nearly crashed into the North Pole. When Santa finally reaches the first house on his list, his bowl of jelly gets him stuck in the chimney. Things turn from bad to worse when he's chased by a Parisian poodle and slips on a rigatoni noodle. Santa is ready to throw in the towel when at the very last house he is reminded of what Christmas is really about, the gift of love. So it's a cute story.
Well, I hope when you come into the library and are looking for books, if you're looking especially for Christmas books, most of our Christmas books have a little sticker on the side. You may not be able to see it. It's a little sticker of Santa. Now, if you're looking for books for Thanksgiving, they have a little turkey. Halloween, they have a little pumpkin sticker on them. So usually when you're looking at books on the shelf, this is all you see, just the spine of the book. So we've tried to put stickers to make it much easier to find. This is Christmas in Camelot. Most kids, as they grow up, learn to enjoy Magic Treehouse books, the adventures of Jack and Annie that get in their Magic Treehouse. It transports them to a different place in a different time. On this one, on Christmas Eve, Jack and Annie's Treehouse transports them to King Arthur's castle at Camelot, where they undertake a quest to the castle of the other world. So this is a great way to, they're fun stories. They're by Mary Pope Osborne, and there are probably 60 of these. So if you love the story, there's no end to the books you can read. And it throws in a lot of history, I think, too. This is another way to just throw in a little history, and the kids just think they're reading for fun, but they're actually learning something, too. I also wanted to talk about, we have talked so much about our books, and we've had a lot of programs. I know I do outreach for the library. We've done some Christmas programs at West Coosa, Spring Terrace, Oak Grove Senior Center. We have Bridges program. They come in, and we've done Christmas programs, the ARC. Our outreach programs this year, I want to thank Mary Kelly, my daughter, Mary Kelly Cantrell, and then Ginger Clifton. They did a program of Christmas songs. Mary Kelly would sing, and Ginger would tell the story behind the Christmas Carol. That was a lot of fun to hear the story behind it. And we finished up story time. We don't have story time during the Christmas break. We kind of follow the schedule. And so I hope you'll come in and join us. We have other things going on in January. Hope you'll come in and see us at the library.